journalists who get jailed in Russia, but this is happening right in the middle of Washington, D.C. And, there's silence from their side. At the same time, I have gotten enormous amounts of solidarity from people, and that's really encouraging. But this is telling. It's very telling, and I think part of it has to do with the fact that I have played a role in exposing mainstream media and their partnership with the national security state in spreading all of these lies. For example, that back in February 23rd, on February 23rd, you remember when Juan Guaido and his crew were going to ram through humanitarian aid to Venezuela with USAID and all these, Marco Rubio was on the Colombian border. He was up till like 3 a.m. tweeting. He was really geeking out. And they made up this phony story that Venezuelan government forces burned the aid trucks when it turned out that it was Guaido's own thugs, including, now we know, members of Colombian paramilitaries who had burned the aid. And, we at the Gray Zone exposed that before any English language media did so. So we've been breaking down these false narratives. And also on Syria, we were, one of the few sites that was exposing the White Helmets, a U.S. and U.K. funded influence operation, and their connection with U.S.-backed armed Salafi jihadi insurgents in Syria. And now it's clear who the White Helmets are because they participated in Turkey's ethnic cleansing of Afrin in northern Syria. And we see the same so-called moderate rebels that we've been exposing, and you've been talking about, Jimmy, for years, now are Turkish mercenaries who are slaughtering Kurds and committing ethnic cleansing in northern Syria, working with Erdogan. And it's just like all of these collapsing narratives, I think we've played a part in collapsing them, but especially on Venezuela. I mean, we've had Anya Parampil exposing Carlos Vecchio, the fake U.S. ambassador who is stage managing these forces around the embassy, as basically part of a white-collar corrupt mafia that is trying to liquidate Venezuela's most valuable foreign asset in Citgo. We've just been at the forefront of exposing all of this, and now 5 months later, I have cops show up at my house to execute a warrant on a completely false charge. We have to just put two and two together. It's very clearly connected, and what we need to do is gather. We need to demonstrate the collusion between violent right-wing Venezuelan opposition members and the federal government to get revenge on reporters who exposed their corruption and their violence. I mean, there's just so much documentation of the violence of these Venezuelan opposition fanatics outside the embassy. And, back to this phony case against me, they were getting very, very bad PR at the time that they concocted this charge. So they held a press conference, and they basically made these phony allegations at a time when they were being exposed in broad daylight on video by reporters like Alex Rubinstein, by me, by Anya Parampil, for the acts of violence and racism that they were committing outside the embassy. And anyone can just go to YouTube and dig up video of them, and you'll see it for yourself. Go back into our Twitter timelines back in April and May, and you'll see it. What you won't see is us committing violence because we were not violent.
Now this is a little heads-up video on the Flight 77 black box reconstruction. It's clearly on the wrong side of the Navy Annex. If you go back, this is what they published. Okay. Here, this is 2 straight on. I did think that this is, I don't know why people aren't seeing this. Okay, let's speed this up a little bit. watching because they.
So I'm just going to follow my usual YouTube activity to see what actually comes up in real time as shadow banned or not. And of course that one just did. That was the first time I ever, let's see, that one did, but this one also is not allowed to be visible in my liked playlist. So I'm just going down the list, see what does get through and what doesn't get through.
The fake news, right? The fake news. I think it's fake news. It was fake news.
Those words may mean less.
Okay, the fake news got through.
This is the Ridge. It's the best wallet you'll ever own. But
More
don't take our word for
more
it.
fake
Try
news.
it for yourself. If you love it.
The fake news, right? The fake news. I think it's fake news. It was fake news.
Those words may mean less now than ever before.
It's just fake news.
President Trump often spouts the phrase to attack stories he doesn't like, no matter how true they are.
He'll use the term fake news to describe objectively true information as fake, but really it's true, but he just doesn't think it should be on the news media agenda.
At a time when it seems like made-up stories lurk on every corner of the internet, the Society of Professional Journalists is fronting a campaign to get news consumers to understand what fake news really is.
Real fake news?
Boring. So anyway, that one got through. I'll show you. That one got through. That one didn't get through.
Yeah, I watched those videos. It was amazing to watch the government law enforcement from the United States. They're protecting the illegal activities of the right-wing people who wanted to illegally take over the Venezuelan embassy. That's pretty amazing to see. But of course, they were allowed to do it because they had the backing of the State Department, the United States government. And it would be, I can't wait to see your reporting when you figure out, who gave this order to go ahead and arrest you.
It's the Trump administration. It's the Justice Department. It's the federal government. We know that. I mean, there's
Right.
no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to know, like, the person.
Yeah.
But and what
And I have to stop and say this. My opinion is the reason this one didn't get posted is because he points it out straight. Rewind that and say it again.
Because they had the backing of the State Department, the United States government. And it would be, I can't wait to see your reporting when you figure out, who gave this order to go ahead and arrest you.
It's the Trump administration. It's the Justice Department. It's the federal government. We know that. I mean,
Venezuelan embassy. That's pretty amazing to see, but of course they were allowed to do it because they had the backing of the State Department, the United States government. And it would be, I can't wait to see your reporting when you figure out, who gave this order to go ahead and arrest you.
It's the Trump administration. It's the Justice Department. It's the federal government. We know that. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
And now my comment, which will probably get this shadow banned, this video I'm making right now. If this video that I'm making right now is not shadow banned, two possibilities. One, there's enough critical mass of people complaining that there's nothing they can do about it. Or two, if it gets shadow banned, then, it's probably because I agree. It's the Trump administration. I actually am concerned that it's even the Trump administration's influence running YouTube, censoring YouTube, shadow banning YouTube. Yes, sometimes things like Alex Jones gets banned on YouTube, but that doesn't mean it's not the Trump administration. The most stuff I see is Jimmy Dore, Secular Talk, David Pakman, TYT, and Damage Report over and over again. Progressive alternative media is getting shadow banned over and over again. And I'm trying to just go through this in real time. 9/11 Pentagon attack flight 77 black box reconstruction review, shadow banned. So, the basic narrative gets through. The one that Trump starts with, that gets through.
President Trump often spouts the phrase to attack stories he doesn't like.
So that gets through, even though it's not necessarily a video that Trump himself produced. He probably approved it, controlled opposition or whatever. The other ones that I showed you at the beginning of this video that didn't get through, and I'm trying to make a short video because nobody wants to watch a 30-minute video, really. The ones that didn't get through at the beginning are this one, Maria Gordon's first part of her 2-part series. The second part got through, but the first part didn't get through.
Well, after 6:30, which is rare for me because I like getting up early. But these last 2 weeks, I just didn't like dragging it.
I don't know exactly why. I haven't watched the whole video.
I was never in on your little conspiracy against me. I was never really fully understanding of what was really going on when, I was in one place and you guys were congregated in another. What was going on? I never thought that you guys had this deep hatred. I know you didn't agree with my exploring.
I don't know who she's talking. I haven't seen this whole video, but my speculation is I should really watch the whole video. My speculation is she's a targeted individual, and that's what she's talking about.
Things your way. I didn't think it mattered, and it shouldn't matter. But whatever the case is, I don't see things your way. Okay, I can't forgive what you guys did.
I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly what she's talking about.
It's really hard. I had my child, and so I didn't have a very nice wardrobe, which I enough to like that idea. Now I know I made some mistakes in the past. I hold this against you, like you weren't worthy for me to talk to because you had a different belief than me. That never bothered me, but it bothered you that I didn't see things your way. I didn't think it mattered, and it shouldn't matter. But whatever the case is...
Whatever the case is, this video was shadow banned for whatever reason. And honestly, I haven't even watched the whole thing. I should go back and watch it. Usually when something's shadow banned, if you can actually still watch it, it's probably a good idea to watch it. Could figure out why it's being shadow banned. Why in the world is this being shadow banned? Strange persecution. It could be that word right there is possibly why that's shadow banned. But if that was true, then the other one would have been shadow banned. Let's see. Is it same title? Yeah, same title. So this one got through. Strange Persecution Part 2 got through. Strange Persecution Part 1 did not get through. And I'll show you. Strange Persecution number 2 got through, and there's no Strange Persecution number 1 that did not get through. So, and I'm policing YouTube because this is such a big issue that I see it every day, and that's why I'm making this video to document in real time what is going on.
Yeah, I would like to know the person.
Yeah.
And what and who inside the DC Police Department thought it was a good idea to show such an overwhelming show of force while arresting a journalist? That's another question. Who's the commanding officer? Where did he get his order? Why wouldn't they just send one officer to your house to say we have a warrant? Why would they send a SWAT team to a journalist's house unless they're trying to intimidate journalists and to get them to stop doing a certain type of journalism? That's exactly what this looks like. That's probably exactly what it is. So that's why I'd like to know who the guy is at the DC Police Department Who said? Who made the phone call? Give me the SWAT. Give me the SWAT team. Give me 10 other officers. Give me all. Who was the guy who orchestrated this at the D.C. Police Department? It had to be somebody. That's what I'm talking about.
Again, I mean, it's the federal government and their and whoever's prosecuting this that had the opportunity to tell me there was a warrant for this phony charge, and they made a choice to set things up the way that they were executed. And honestly, you know, I grew up in D.C. I know how the police are here. I've never really had a positive experience with a police officer in D.C. So when they show up in your house, in your living room, and they're jumpy because they don't know who's there or whatever, it's somewhat terrifying. And I had to have an officer follow me to get my coat. He wasn't going to allow me to change my clothes without watching me because. And then I noticed that there were police all along the side of my house, waiting for me to jump out of a window or something. It was ridiculous. And I essentially had to kind of, at one point, he did try to cuff me. He said I was taking too long because it's early in the morning and all of a sudden there's cops in your living room. So it was a fairly terrifying experience. And then the next thing I know, I'm in a dark paddy wagon, handcuffed, holding onto a rope. As the police proceed to go around and pick up my neighbors, various people on petty crimes, which is a whole another aspect of this experience, was to just see the sheer racism of the U.S. justice system. I mean, it's just outrageous what you see behind bars. And that's another thing that the corporate media doesn't report on. While they're howling about Jim Acosta because Donald Trump was mean to him, and calls CNN fake news, they have very little to say about the young black men I spent 2 days with in prison who are basically there for the pettiest of crimes imaginable and are being subjected to similarly horrible treatment and being denied the access to phone calls as well.
So now, I thought, so that's probably illegal that they denied you counsel, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it was only because...
everything they do is illegal. Problem is, there's not much people can do about it because the closer anybody gets, the more shit comes out about anybody getting close to the power. The power structure defends its own position more than any other self-defense perspective in the world. The U.S. presidency is the most highly defended position in the land. So, even when a progressive talk show host comes out with dirt on a prospective political opposition of Donald Trump, I don't like Pete Buttigieg, but that's the issue. It shouldn't be about one versus the other. It should be about what's best for we the people of the world. And it's gotten to that point where we the people of the United States don't matter because the United States has crossed and decided to police the world. So with that action, what matters is we the people of the world's opinion, not Pete Buttigieg's opinion, not Sam Cedars' opinion, not Donald Trump's opinion, not my opinion, but we the people of the world is the only right ruling body of the world, and not one individual, all of them. Check out this and see if this gets through.
Oh yeah, let's play this. This is the TYT stuff. This is, the TYT, the investigative team has been pretty hot on the case of Buttigieg in South Bend. And what's happening there. And,
okay, that one got through.
Buttigieg has a real problem with black voters in terms of coming around. And there's, in this...
And I'm not interested in covering that, but if you want to watch it, you can go see that. Obviously, that one got through. It's the next one.
We are live. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay, because I don't have a mic right now. I'm here at this event. Let me show you what I'm looking at. People are just starting to pour in now, and I'm going to wait till I get a couple of people online to make sure you guys can hear me okay. There's a bunch of protesters outside. This, of course, is the Megan Murphy
That
talk,
one got through.
where she's speaking out about the trans activists who are essentially destroying rights for women, rights for children. And so, yeah.
So those are two competing perspectives. You know, they do ban a lot of different things. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this was shadow banned. Why? Because this is competing with coal.
Just as toast as everyone else on the block. Solar generators can provide off-grid energy consistently over long periods of time without requiring anything other than the sun. Whether you are in search of a practical off-grid living alternative or want a standby...
And I'm just going down my, you know, regular list of
that can be as effective
things that I might watch for the sake of seeing how many videos are shadow banned. None of this is planned.
As more and more people rely on these technologies to survive, thrive, and to stay connected with others. Solar generators are not only used in home appliances like fans, small to medium-sized air conditioners, and refrigerators, but they're also useful for
providing I guess he's going to have another one to come.
For critical medical devices such as CPAP machines and other at-home health monitors. Solar generators...
Let's see if that went through. So I just liked it. Yeah, let's see if it gets through. Okay, that one didn't get through. Yeah. Why didn't that get through? And I'm doing this because to me, this is the only relevant issue on YouTube until either everybody quits, and I'll be the last one on YouTube. Why? Because if everybody quits, I'm still going to be there to say, hey, you're shadow banning until they stop shadow banning. Because to me, this is the only relative issue on YouTube. Why would anybody join a website if their message is not allowed to get across sometimes? And their communications are potentially manipulated and the narrative is so controlled. And why would anybody join? Well, I joined. So did a lot of people. That's why I'm policing them, because it's such a big website that realistically, one of the main critical issues of the ethics and the functioning and the public social lack of a contract and binding contract that YouTube implements with its users is what is too important not to police them about this particular issue, because the issue itself is so critical to the freedom and suggested premise. Let me say that right, though. In terms of when you sign up with YouTube, the basic premise is not quite the right word. The basic advertisements that get you on YouTube suggest that there's a whole lot of information that is freely posted by a whole lot of different people. Well, if you research it long enough, you'll see that they shadow ban constantly. In that way, it's quite like some of the coverage I did on Facebook, showing that Facebook too, the narrative is controlled. It's controlled not so overtly that you can't, that you don't see it. It's not controlled so overtly that you don't see it. Because if you don't see it, then you can't really tell that it's being controlled. And And that's a problem to be aware of, which is why even if they weren't shadow banning, a question like, you know, does YouTube control the narrative? Does the U.S. government control the narrative of YouTube? And if so, that question is a fair question, even without evidence, because it's a question. But when you see the evidence, let's even just see if this one goes. The 5 best portable solar panels for off-grid. And this kind of information is, of course, a public service for people, especially people dealing with power outages. So I'm going to like it. And
Power Solar. Today we are discussing the top 5 portable solar panels for off-grid use. The best portable solar panels
it did go
provide
through.
utility for a multitude of activities.
Okay, so that one went through, but not the first one. And I'm just going down the list.
Let's go next to our caller from the 901 area code. Who's calling today from 901?
My name is Brandon, and I'm from Memphis.
Hey, Brandon, what's going on?
Nothing much. I'm really happy to be that you took my call. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate what you do, and being someone who lives in Memphis, Tennessee, it's really nice that, you know, I get to enjoy.
And here's how the YouTube controls one of the narratives. I'm sorry to control the narrative by cutting off David Pacman there. I would like to put my liked playlist in an order that is cohesive, an order that makes sense to me and potentially to others in terms of storytelling from top to bottom. But when they shadow ban, look, here's a direct example. Strange Persecution Part 2 got through, but Strange Persecution Part 1 did not get through. If Strange Persecution Part 1 got through, the narrative would have, this is actually the narrative that this user, Maria Gordon, would have wanted YouTube users to see. She would have wanted Part 1 to come through, and Part 2 would have followed. That's what any logical Part 1, Part 2 post would want, not one part to be shadow banned and one part to get through. And so that's how they control the narrative. One part got through, one part didn't. Now, in a bigger picture, that's just 2 videos from Maria Gordon. In a bigger picture, I would have liked to have put these in. So we got one video, Can teachers be fired for being activists? I would have liked to put that video next to this video, because I think they're relative. Sorry about the commercial. It's a more serious situation with a journalist being arrested, but it's kind of relative. So I would have liked to have put this video next to the Jimmy Dore video. But of course I can't, because the Jimmy Dore video is shadow banned. Similarly, watching some targeted individual videos, and I can't put those in an order that I would have liked to have put them in. So I can't control the narrative the way I would like to, the YouTube user. And what I'm saying is just shadow banning alone is one way YouTube can control the narrative. Another way is the structure in which people's liked playlist is put together. And this is the history. Let me go back to the liked playlist. And this is what I see when I go into my liked playlist. You can see the Can the Teachers Be Fired? 5 best portable solar panels. Now let's go to my channel, and you'll see it's very different than what this list is. So here's another way that they, let's see, where does it, I have to go to the, how do I do this? Well, I guess it has to go to customize channel. Okay, so it says yourself. I don't want to see it as myself. I want to see it as a returning. No, I want to see it as a new visitor. Oops. Anyway, I don't know if it's myself or the news visitor. I don't think this really works very well either, but it says myself. I don't want to see it as myself. I'd rather see it as a new visitor. So this is supposed to be what the new visitor sees when they come to my page. And if you see that, that's the video I chose as the basic first video they see. And then the next is my FYI playlist, which these are all my videos. And then Waking Asheville, which is a short film that I put together. It's not finished, it's just clips. The next is Other. And then my liked playlist, my liked video playlist. And notice zebra with a target on it. Remember what my liked playlist looks like in real time? Here's my liked playlist. What's the first video? Can teachers be fired for being activists? So this is what you see if you come to my page under my liked playlist. This is another way YouTube controls the narrative. And they're not in order. So let's look at what you see. You see the zebra with the target. It's a music video. You see the slug a bed, another music video. Follow. This is the way that it goes. You see Donald Trump WTC interview. And then you see cybersecurity. So those are the 4 videos in the order that YouTube put them in. Now let's go to my liked playlist, and you can see that that's not the top of it. We'll have to scroll down to get to those videos, way down, in fact. So none of these videos come through. Maybe they come through later, and I do post a lot of videos. Here's the first one, but wait, that's not the second one. So there's another way they control the narrative. So the first one was this one. The second one was not this one, but that's what I posted. This is the second one as I posted it. Again, this is the second one as YouTube posted it. And this is the third one. So there's the second one that I posted, the third one that I posted, the fourth one that I posted, the fifth one that I posted, the sixth one that I posted, the seventh, the eighth, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, 17th, the 18th, the 19th, the 20th, 21st, 24th. That's the second one that YouTube posted after 24 videos in between, basically. So there's another way that YouTube controls the narrative. And there's so many more that I have touched on in some other videos. Please watch my other videos, like and subscribe. I'm trying to keep this video short. It's already a 30-minute video, but I need to stop it because I'm going to run out anyway.